Hello and welcome to the official Season 13 Preseason 2023 preview of League of Legends and of course the jungle. Huge changes have come through, they've just dropped everything, going on the PBE tomorrow. I figured, hey, let's make a video, so let's begin. Right, so with of course last season, not having a lot of changes, and feeling just kind of like Season 12 was an extension of Season 11, they've decided to really drive home some changes this season, and obviously you can notice the big headline here. So all of this will be pretty early state, as they've mentioned. PB, you guys can go and test it out. I will release more content as they release more information, just so that you're all prepared by the time we hit Season 13. But yeah, basically, the return of Chemtech. Now, I enjoy Chemtech. Not the actual iteration we had, but the thematic. The thematic of the dragon, the thematic of the map, I enjoyed. Obviously, the camo plus the zombie buff, these were ridiculous. These are gone now. They are changing the entire way it works, but bringing back the Chemtech map in a way more interesting way. And now it's going to return with a small amount of tenacity and healed and shield strength when slain. So we're going to have the Ocean Soul, the Mountain Dragon, for your regeneration and your resistances, plus this. If you can get 3 of those as a tank enchanter comp, yeah. So this is actually kind of nice. I like that. With Chemtech Dragon being such a great DPS attack-based dragon along with Fire Dragon, this is something that isn't really hit on a lot in itemization as well from a tank perspective. Yeah, we have Spirit Visage, and we have, of course, Unflinching, and we have Mercury Treads and things like that, but there's not a lot of extra tenacity stuff that you can buy there, so this is going to be an interesting facet of the game, and you could change your itemization depending on the nature of, what dragons show up. Now, the soul will grant bonus damage when below a certain amount of health, so that execute is coming back a little bit. This seems a bit not too creative for me. We'll have to see exactly what the numbers are for that. But alongside the Chemtech Drake, the Rift will take on a new Chemtech-inspired appearance featuring Zonite chemicals and mutated jungle plants with upgraded effects. Yeah. So blast cones will now blast those in range twice as far as before. Honey fruits will upgrade into stem fruits, mundo, no longer slowing champions that consume them and granting a small bonus shield in addition to the usual heal. Scry's Bloom will upgrade into Stalker's Bloom, it's a little creepy. When hit, these plants will now reveal a small circular area around the plant and a cone opposite of the direction it was hit, granting movement speed towards revealed enemy champions and reducing wards revealed to 1 health. I like that. That is a significantly better application of the map than we had before. Really, this is much more creative, much more utility based, and makes the map feel alive. A lot of the dragon maps feel great, look great, but sometimes it's like, don't really care. Like the Cloud Dragons map, bit of movement speed, okay. I mean, it's not very fun. You don't really think twice about it. But then, of course, the Ocean Dragon map, that's a drastic shift. The Fire Dragon map, that's a drastic shift, right? A lot of extra brushes, a lot of, in this case, removing brushes. But this one here changes the plants. I like this. I like this a lot. Now, this is what you're all here for, right? The jungle improvements. Anybody want Salamander? Or Fox? Or Fire Demon Chameleon? You can have them now. So, Avatar Smites and Jungle Pets. Let's go. The jungle is a dangerous place and a dangerous place to go alone. So take one of these jungle pets by purchasing them in the in-game shop as an egg. Now, will that be in addition to the jungle item, or is this replacing the jungle item? That's my concern here. So I'm assuming this is replacing the jungle items in terms of the smites. We'll need exact numbers on this. So I'm going to go on PB and explore, and then I'll give you guys some more feedback over the course of the week, I think, maybe in the form of shorts. I can just upload a few things for you, but this is interesting because it's a unique spin on essentially the jungle items we've had over the years. We used to be able to smite jungle camps and get specific buffs, and I think it's kind of trying to fuse that Season 5, Season 6 era with the modern era, while at the same time reducing the frustration with Red Smite. Blue Smite no one really has an issue with. These pets will acquire treats through monster kills and slowly over time as the game progresses, which will help them evolve. Once evolved, pets will give their own avatar buffs, which empower them with different abilities. So, the Noxian Ember Cat. This will be the pet of choice for junglers looking to play more aggressively. It will provide slows and bonus damage. Yeah, that's not going to fly for laners, I think. They're going to be a little bit upset about that. This jungle pet is perfect for junglers looking to frontline and tank for their teams. It will provide a shield based on your health that provides bonus slow resist and tenacity when broken. Okay, so tanky boys. Ionian Cloud Leaper. This jungle pet will be great for junglers looking to rotate and move around the map more quickly. It will provide bonus movement speed, so for your Ramus and Hekarims. Now, on the face of it, okay, Essentially, what we're looking at here is 3 different archetypes that will buff junglers in 3 different particular ways. And you can mix and match based upon whatever your jungler wants to do. Now, for a lot of junglers, I feel like you can really mesh your champion's playstyle and archetype with one of these fluffy pets. In concept, I like it. In execution, I'm not sold yet. Let's see what else they say. Oh, that's all they say. I'm curious about the blue smite removal and the red smite removal versus these things, because is it going to enable our smite to do things on champions? For example, like the Noxian Embercat, could Rek'Sai, okay, still smite someone to get that ult activation? Could Blue Kayn do the same thing? These interactions are going to be crucial. We don't know how that's going to work yet, so let's keep an eye on this. But for now, I applaud the effort to try and make this more dynamic and amplify jungle classes in terms of their effectiveness and viability, but I'm not 100% sold yet. Leashing range indicators. In an effort to make jungle more welcoming to players unfamiliar with the role, we'll just simplify the role, of course, right? We'll be adding visual leashing indicators that will show how far camps can be pulled before their patience starts diminishing. We're also decreasing the distance camps can be pulled, so no more having to stand on the perfect pixel in order to hyper-optimize your jungle clears. Now this, as long as they don't remove, say, Fiddlesticks's special clear, or they don't remove Mundo's ability to really pull something in the cleaver, or they don't remove Kayn's ability to drag Wolfcamp into the blue and then queue the blue into the wolves into the wall to shorten that Q range. That's such a cool interaction, and it's really nice to see. Kayn's put in the time to maximize those clears. Same thing for Fiddlesticks's, but I don't know if removing that entirely is good. Like, we don't want to make jungles be able to clear while drooling. You know, the biggest problem with modern jungle is that Heckrooms and Udyrs can already clear while drooling. Like, you don't have to think. I could literally just go to sleep and still effectively pilot these champions. And over the last 2 years, they've dominated the meta, and it's been frustrating. Diana too, you know. Whereas champions that require so much micro in terms of clearing, it's really rewarding to get that advantage over something that doesn't have to do that. For me, this is going to be interesting here. Like, we've got these root indicators as well. You know, this is great as long as it's early levels. Now, if all of this is only for non-ranked and say the first 15 levels to teach people jungle, perfect, perfect, absolutely perfect. Now, are they reducing this just a little bit so that it's not as extreme? Okay, that's fine. We can handle that, right? We can handle that. And as long as Fiddle and Kayn can do these cool things that allow them to clear efficiently and effectively in a unique way, great. So that remains to be seen. That's my viewpoint on that, though. I do think we need to keep that skill expression, but I think people are overreacting. I don't think Riot's going to make it so that everyone is to stand still and just kind of go, you know, like, I don't think they're going to do that. I hope not. The Flores is going to rage. So recommended jungle paths, another addition. Okay, that's what this is. Essentially just to make it easier for junglers to clear. Hopefully you're not playing Sivir jungle. Please do not play Sivir jungle. Darwi, don't play Sivir jungle. These first clears are determined by gathering data from high skill cap junglers and the high mastery champs across the globe. Pathing recommendations are based on which routes most often led these players to a victory and will be updated each patch. Can we have that data? Not only is it free content, but it's also cool to look at. I know League of Graphs has some kind of, you know, section on that, but I would like to see this, Riot. Can we see this somewhere? This would be really cool. Okay, this is the good stuff. Communication tools. Ping wheel. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at it. Look at it. Lovely. I know no one has to type ever again. I never have to read my bot lane flamey for doing my job when they don't do theirs, and then the next game have them against me and then absolutely decimate them for doing the same mistakes they just did on my team. That happened 2 days ago. This is really fun. Look at this. What do we have here? Using the updated ping wheel. What do we have? League team. Now, League is a team game at its core. Yeah. In order to better facilitate communication between teammates, we're doubling down the number of pings available to players. The 8 pings on the wheel, 8 pings, imagine, on the wheel will now be as follows. Returning pings, retreat, on my way, assist me, enemy missing. Enemy missing, let's be honest with you, in EU West is simultaneously enemy missing. You're an idiot. Damn, you're so good. And you're an idiot times 5. New pings, clockwise, push, all in, hold, bait. Love it. Love it. Excellent. I mean, I play support and jungle too. So what we need to know here is if you're going for a tower dive, you say, guys, push. When you're coming for a gank, you say, guys, all in first so that I can follow up afterwards, which is just good gank etiquette. Hold can be used for any number of ways, and bait is a beautiful one. Bait is going to be so good for ganks. Scan a bush, approach, sit in a bush, And, you know, just say bait. Guys, go and bait. It's gonna be really, really useful. New vision pings though. New ping wheel. Ooh, 2 ping wheels in one game? 2023 is wild. That focuses primarily on vision. Using this wheel, you can now indicate the following. Vision cleared. Please use this, laners. Enemy vision. Please use this, laners. Need vision. Please use vision, laners. Okay, but we also can do this. What's this? This is funky. Objective voting. No, I don't want voting. I want a dictatorship. Laners don't get to vote on when to. I get to vote on when to do a dragon. Not you. I have the smite. I feel like this should be a dictatorship where we say take or give, and not them. It's a lot of power for one individual, but I feel like as junglers we deserve said power. If you disagree, you're not really a jungler, are you? We are power crazy. I guess obviously, you know, it can be difficult getting everyone to group for objectives. That's their point. We're introducing a new voting function that will appear when objectives are pinged that will function similarly to a surrender vote. Now all players, not pings, can vote, although that is how I view players, can vote and indicate whether or not they'd like to take or contest that objective. See, the problem is now I'm gonna say take, because enemy jungler's topside, my lane is gonna be like, no, but you just came back to lane, we can take this. And basically if they say no or give and it's a bad decision, I'm gonna go ahead and take it anyway, because if I know it's a good decision as a jungler with enemy jungler topside, top laner dead, dude's taking my grump, we have numbers advantage, no one is gonna know those things other than the jungler. So this simultaneously I like, but I'm also severely concerned about, but I think it's good. Off-screen pings. Can you see that? Yes, you can. The last communication change we have for you is a small quality of life update that will notify you which direction an off-screen ping came from by displaying it on the edge of your screen. So built-in Warwick passive for pings. Enemy missing pings will show on your screen regardless of where they're pinged on the map, while retreat, on my way, assist me, hold all in, and push pings will only be displayed if they're pinged within 3,000 units. Approximately corner to corner of your screen when zoomed out, or 20 TMOs for those who work in freedom units of your screen's edge. Okay, that's just like a clarity thing. Vision system updates. Allied ward tracking. There's a lot of vision stuff. So while there are currently ways to see how many wards you have out, there isn't a quick way to check which wards are closest to expiring other than manually looking at every ward placed. This is something I've been really focusing on coaching. You see someone put a ward down, or you see it show up when you hit a Scry's bloom, click it. It will tell you on the top left of your screen how many seconds are left on that vision ward's live. And you can of course plan your clears accordingly. 40 seconds, I can do Wolf's Grump and then move up through that bush. They're not gonna expect me to time that ward and gank immediately. So that's a really cool skill set, but now it's difficult to see your own wards and that kind of timing. So we're introducing new ward visuals on the minimap that will indicate when wards are close to expiring. Very good. They will change the appearance when wards reach 60 and 30 seconds remaining before they expire. Very, very good. I like that. Enemy ward timers, which is what I just referenced. It can be hard to keep track of every single ward that gets placed on the map, and even harder to successfully communicate that information to your teammates. In fact, it's impossible. Now, if you ping an enemy ward that you saw them place within the last 10 seconds, a perfectly accurate ward timer will appear until the ward is removed or expires. So that's literally what I just said as a skill, now made easier. So this, is it a skill that I think should be made easier? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because it can be really difficult to click the ward quickly within time, see who placed it by hovering the thing under the tooltip and looking at the timer. So this means you can just ping it and it's good. So if you see wards placed, pay attention to that minimap. This is huge for junglers. Huge for you, huge for your laners, huge for tracking. This is good. This is good, I think. Loadout and ability recommendations. Another change we're excited to introduce are optimal recommended rune pages and summoner spells and champ select. Once you lock in your champion, you'll see a recommended runes button to the left. And okay, so this is basically just recommending your rune pages and summoner spells. Someone tweeted this or put it on the Reddit the other day as well. Use this, you know, basically it's replacing the u.ggs of the world, but we'll have to see how reliable that is. You'll need to correlate u.gg with Riot's system on which abilities and of course rune page and summoner spells work. Great for normals, great for testing things, but as always, use your brain, right? Top lane changes. Oh boy. We'll be making some adjustments to help top laners scale faster. Oh really? And hit those key item and level breakpoints faster relative to mid and bot. Oh my god, here we go again. Solo lane experience. Solo lanes will now receive a 95% experience multiplier from minions. Dual lanes will now receive a 22 bonus experience multiplier, previously 24.73. So this is going down, this is going up. Mid lane gold changes. All minions spawned in the mid lane will now be worth 1 less gold before 40 minutes when last hit. Previously, only cannon minions were worth less gold, but were worth 10 less gold. So you're nerfing mid's gold income. The role is already kind of... You're nerfing dual lane experience, which is already, as a support, can be quite frustrating, but it's fine. Like, it's playable, it's good, it's a strong role, no one's complaining. We don't need a buff, we don't need a nerf, I feel. I feel like it's in a good spot, support experience, dual lane experience at the moment. But do top laners really need this extra XP? Like, I know top laners are going to complain about it, but if you're a good top laner, you've had no issue carving out 3-level leads on the general map and using that macro principle. So we'll have to see how this works, but I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be Fioras that are 5 levels ahead of junglers and supports and just one-shotting everybody, and that's not gonna be fun or okay. So I hope this is experimental and they're willing to dial it back if it proves to be obnoxious. And this has happened before. Top laners have been running around 5 levels ahead of junglers and supports. We've had this even a few years ago. It's not fun. You know, it's not fun, especially when you get counterpicked in the long lane and your jungler is going to focus on bottom lane for these new special Chemtech Dragons. You know, if you lose your lane heavily as a top laner, you can just lose the entire game. You know what I'm saying? So this concerns me a little bit. This more so because I play support as well. I don't know if this needed to go down. Like, this could have gone up while keeping this the same. You know, that's probably better. Now you want to buff top lane. Cool, you've buffed top lane, but now you're nerfing mid and bot, so that, like, this gap increases twofold. I would rather you do this, observe, and then decide if this is necessary. But they've just done both at the same time, so not a fan. Not a fan. New and updated items. We're introducing 12 new updated items this preseason. As a disclaimer, please note the item stats, effects, and even names are subject to change while on the PB. Icathia's Endurance. Ooh. Mythic item. 400 health, 30 armor, 30 magic resist, 28. So it's Sunfire, but it has Voidborn Resilience. For each second in champion combat, gain a stack granting 3 armor and magic resist up to 10 max. At max stack, become empowered, instantly draining enemies around you for 4% of your maximum health each. Reduced to 1% against minions and monsters, obviously, and doubling your resists from stacks until the end of combat, 60-second cooldown. Grants all other legendary items 5 armor and magic resist. So, Mundo, Sejuani, Ornn, any tank, Zac, this saga. Now, obviously not for jungle because we're going to lose that burn damage, but that will depend on the jungle items. If the new jungle eggs or whatever replace the jungle items and do more damage to monsters for clearing where you don't need Balmy Cinder, interesting dynamic, then you can go this, but otherwise this is definitely for top lane. Huge for tank top laners. Huge, absolutely huge. I think this is going to be absolutely broken. Radiant Virtue, mythic item. 400 health, 30 armor, 30 magic resist. So exactly the same base stats, also another mythic, but grants us extra health. Are they removing something? Are they removing Crossfire and Sunfire? They're just adding more dynamics. Upon casting your ultimate, you transcend. I do enjoy a good transcendence. Increasing your maximum health by 10% for 9 seconds. While transcended, you and your allies within 1200 range of you gain 25 non-ultimate ability haste. So basically built-in transcendence rune into an item. You and your allies will also heal for 1.5% of your maximum health every 3 seconds, increased up to 100% based upon that champion's missing health. Healing is doubled on yourself. So once more, Mundo is very excited. Sejuani, Ornn are very excited. These are going to be strong for tank top laners. And I think what's nice about these is you don't always want Balmy Cinder as a tank top laner. It just forces you to delay your mythic. It forces you to build Balmy Cinder at some point, which compromises your ability to control your wave. And that's what these 2 items are going to be very, very good for. Iceborne Gauntlet. Deadpool noises. Look, it's back. And it has Spellblade, which means it builds out a sheen. It's back. It's back. It's back. 400 health, 40 armor, 20 ability haste. Yes. After using an ability, your next attack is enhanced with an additional 100%. Okay, so we got some sheen here, plus a slow field, which is basically from Frostfire Gauntlet. Same stuff, same stuff. And effectively, this now gives you health, tenacity, and 5% slow resist. So, Volibear. So you guys, if you'd feel like you're gonna build, say, a Tiamat from my Volibear build into Divine Sundra, you can now build this, the OG Volibear build that I came up with in 2020, after the rework. So this, huge. Goliath's Ascendiary. Mythic item as well. This is a mythic item also. These are a lot of mythics. 800 health. Mundo. 200 base health regeneration and 20 ability haste. This is just all for Mundo. Charge a powerful attack against a champion over 3 seconds while within 600 range of them, which is basically Master's attack range at this point. The charged attack drains the target, dealing 50 plus 10% of your maximum health as bonus physical damage and healing you for the same amount. A lot of high HP scalings in these passives. You permanently gain maximum health equal to 15% of the drain. This is Mundo in an item. Mundo in a jar, Genie in a bottle. Grants all other legendary items 1% increased health and 6% champion size. I'm struggling to feel like where does this fit? This is basically saying that the Balmy Cinder items are going straight for junglers in tanks in the jungle, and these are all for your tanks in the top lane, effectively. I'm sure Jax will figure out a way of abusing one of these. I'm curious as to where they fit into the ecosystem. All for top lane 100%. Huge for top lane. But if they change the jungle enough that we can clear without needing to buy Balmy Cinder, or if you're a jungler who doesn't need Balmy Cinder whatsoever, or doesn't need Noon Quiver, then you could go these items. And I feel like that could be, I mean, if you have HP scaling, like in Mundo, like that's a lot of damage. If you have health and armor resist scaling, like you do in Ornn, like all of these are good. Volibear, this could be great as well, right? With our health scaling, as well as having that extra armor and haste is obviously lovely, and Spellblade being in the Sheen is huge. So interesting. And you are welcome for this, guys, because I made a gameplay video on Maokai on my secondary channel where I said I miss Rod of Ages. Do you guys remember Rod of Ages? How great is Rod of Ages? I wish they would bring back Rod of Ages, and I refuse to believe that this was in the article before, and I guarantee you someone watched that Maokai video and said, Virkayu is right, let's bring it back. And here you go, so you're welcome. Thank Mr. Virkayu. 60 ability power, 300 health, 300 mana, and this is it. It scales up to 10 times for a maximum of 200 health, 200 mana, and 40 ability power. Upon reaching max stacks, gain a level. Ooh, the level cap remains 18. Aw. Mythic passive grants all other legendary items 5 haste. So Rise might just gain like 7% win rate from this item. If you know, you know. Catalyst of Eons. Oh, it's back. Catalyst builds into Rod of Ages, okay? It's a scaling item. Restore mana equal to 50% of damage taken from champions and health equal to 20% of mana spent, up to 15 health per cast. Toggled abilities can only heal for up to 15 health per second. So your Maokais, your Alistars, your Rises, your Mumus, we used to build these items. Catalyst plus Rod. I mean, you could build a Rod Zyra, you could build anything that needed this kind of sustainability and also just raw stat scaling. There was a viable way to build this in Zyra and other champions. So this is going to be really interesting to see what champions can use this again. It's nice. In the modern ecosystem, it's going to be wild to see how this fits. Abyssal Mask, of course, still not being built. Still good, but still not being built. 500 health, increase, mana. Thank God. Again, thank me. No, I'm kidding. My influence is not that great, but I have said in a lot of videos recently that there is no mana item on tank stuff for people who want to build Fimbulwinter. So I can build Frozen Heart to get that added scaling for buying mana, but there's no magic resist item with mana, which I felt was a complete ridiculous thing. Like, why is there no mana on any magic resist item for a tank so that we can actually use Fimbulwinter plus Frozen Heart for giga scaling on that shield? And it just seemed like such an oversight to me. And I'm so happy that they said, you know what, we agree, we're gonna slap this in here. That's the same thing essentially. So it looks like it's gonna be building out of Catalyst of Eons, which is nice. So you're gonna get Catalyst of Eons in this build path. Cause enemy champions. So this is the same passive as we have now, the magic cursed unmake. And a champion can only be cursed by one enemy at a time. That makes sense. Really good Abyssal Mask changes. Beautiful, love it, thank you. Sunfire Aegis is no longer a mythic item. Well, that answers that earlier question that I proposed when I was talking about those. So no longer a mythic. 400 health, 50 armor. So this is now the tank's death dance. Taking or dealing damage causes you to begin. So this is exactly the same thing, damaging to blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is exactly the same thing. It's just reduced in stats, no longer mythic. So what? I have to build Balmies to clear, right? And then I have to build a mythic. So that's just like, you've just made the top laner issue the jungle tank issue, right? Like now I have to build this and I don't have a mythic? I don't have any magic resist? Not a fan. So basically we have a Death Dance for tanks, and now Righteous Glory, if you guys remember that one, returns. So if I want this active, I have to build a mythic tank item plus this. Now the benefit here is that those those 3 new tank mythics are huge, gonna be mighty, okay? But Turbo Chem tanks all of a sudden being the magic resist go-to item plus the engage item, I don't like this because sometimes I want to engage, but I want armor. Why do I have to compromise on that? Why can't we just keep 25, 25, and 25, 25? Because what if there's a team that's all AD, but I need to engage on with Turbo Chem Tank? I'm a Volibear or something like that where I need it, right? And now it's only to magic resist, it's useless on me. So this, I feel like this should be split. Like, I understand they're not mythics, but if you're gonna force me to compromise my entire tanking specific item set, you know, like my Randuins and my Spirit Visages and things that go against the enemy comp directly, because I have to build this to clear in the jungle plus build those new mythics, you know, like you're forcing me to buy 2 items now instead of 1 as a tank jungler. So This concerns me a little bit. We're gonna have to see how this plays out. Let me know what you guys think about this, because that's those are my initial thoughts. I haven't read these until right now. What do you guys think? Randon's Omen, 400 health, 700 armor. Okay, so 700 armor. I wish 70 armor. Okay. Briefly slow, so that's the same. Reduce, okay, rock solid, and then critical. So they're just adjusting the stats here, giving us a bit more of that juicy. No. Remove it. Don't bring this demon of an item back. I don't need Jax to be on permanent rotation with his spells, chasing me down while just destroying me and being absolutely unkillable with his 300 health, 65% attack damage, probably abusing a tank item as well. And now obviously it scales with the AD, so he's not going to get those benefits, but oh boy, I'm not looking forward to that. Ravenous Hydra, so they're minusing 5 from the AD, which sucked, but also lowering their Omnivamp here by 1% to give us this. Gain 0.5 AD and 0.1 Omnivamp whenever you kill an enemy. Stacking up to 25 AD and 5%. Omnivamp lose 50% of these stacks on death. So this is gonna be juicy as all hell for things like Rengar, where you can scale with your Bone Tooth and also scale with your item. It's essentially the built-in Mejais. Then you lose them when you die. So this is gonna be absolutely nutty for Snowball. This is literally the AD Mejais, basically. I don't know why we just kind of have that in an ISO item, but hey, it's in Ravenous Hydra. So I think this is gonna be absolutely disgustingly abused on things like Samira, as well as Rengar and things like that. This will be interesting. Obviously, does not. That's pretty much the change. So, well, there you have it. Let me know what you think on the items. I've just done a huge video and expose on a challenge jungler who reached rank 10. I think you're going to learn a lot about that, even if you don't play that champion. So I'll leave that in the box on your screen now. Thank you very much for watching.